All right, everyone. Monday, March 20th, 2023, MMAOB Daily Podcast, Part 2, Marcel. We're going to be previewing UFC San Antonio, Vera versus Sandhagen. We just recapped UFC 286. It was a fun show, Marcel, I thought. We got fired up on that show. If you guys missed it, for whatever reason, go back and watch it. It's there now. Should be. But we're going to be talking about UFC San Antonio here. Marcel, I always ask you this. What's your initial thoughts on this card before we get into the more in-depth breakdowns? What do you think about it?
I mean, if you think about that, we could have had the Pennington Aldana 2 as a headliner. I think it's a great card.
Dude, that's a good point, my friend.
It's like, that's how it is, I'm happy they put Vera against Sandhagen on this card. Very, very high-ranked guy, a very high-level bantamweight fight, I really love it. I think, in my opinion, co-main event should have been Alex Perez, Manuel Kape. I think that's a great fight. I understand Holly Holm is a co-main event, but I don't really give a shit. And there was, I think, Nate Landwehr against Lingo was a fun fight. I think Landwehr, Caceres was a fun fight, but now against
that was
Lingo was cool as well. You got Lee against Barber is intriguing. I think Njokuani Duraev is fun. Peterson against Alexander is a fun fight on the prelims. Tucker Lutz, Pineda. There were some good fights on it. Yeah. So looking forward to it.
I think there's some bangers on this card.
Vinicius Salvador is on this. I like it.
That guy's good, man. I mean, there's some good prospects. All right, so a couple of comments. We got Marcus Mustard here. What's up, man? We got Juan again. We got Patrick. What's going on, guys? It's supposed to be the headliner of Muniz Allen. I think so, right? Originally, and then obviously that had a new main event that fell. What was the fight that fell? Oh yeah,
Krylov
and, All right, let's get into this card, Marcel. We have 6. I think it's 13 fights. Am I correct, Marcel? 13 fights.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let's see. So it's a pretty good card. I think overall. All right, guys, let's get into it. We'll start with
13.
We'll start with the first fight of the night. Hailey Cowan taking on Tamires Vidal, bantamweight bout, women's bantamweight bout. Fight was booked on short notice. Cowan was supposed to fight a few weeks ago, and she got pulled for health reasons. I think she said it wasn't related to weight cutting, but nevertheless, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, and that's never a good thing. Who is Vidal supposed to fight against Marcel in this fight? Who is it?
This fight is just completely made new. Was super
cool.
Short notice before.
All right. So what's interesting about this one is the odds came out the other day, and Vidal opened at minus 155, Cowan plus 135. Odds are flipped now. Cowan is actually minus 140, plus 120 on Vidal. So that's kind of interesting. Can I start, Marcel, on this one? Is that cool?
By the way, correction, Njokuani is right there.
What did you say? Okay, that's the card. Good call. All right, so as far as this fight goes, here's my initial thought was Cowan is a dog. I was kind of thinking about the other day. But then I was thinking, I was thinking like, she just cut all that weight a couple weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. She's actually a pretty big girl for a weight class. I don't know if that's such a good idea because now she's going against Tamires Vidal, who had an absolutely ridiculous knockout over Ramona Pascual, who's a very tough woman. She showed off her durability in that fight with Josiane Nunes, right? Vidal looked great, man, and that knockout was absolutely nasty. Almost, I think, a lot of her fights, ended in pretty vicious finishes. Marcel, I think Cowan definitely has a chance. I can't bet on this fight because the short notice, it's grappler, striker, basically, I guess, if you want to call it that. But, kind of low level, too. I don't think I can bet on it. But honestly, Marcel, I have to pick Vidal because she looked great in her debut. She's only 24 years old. She has the upside here. She's on a nice win streak. She's coming off a great knock over a durable fighter. And Cowan, she's not bad, but I don't really think she was signed because of her abilities necessarily. I don't think she looked great in her fight a contender. I think she can win fights because she's good grappling. She's a good athlete. But that weight cut, Marcel, so close to each other really bothers me here. I don't think it's good for her. So I have to go with Vidal. If that weight cut does bother her in this fight, guys, would it be surprising if we see Vidal with another body shot knockout? I mean, I think that's possible. So that's my pick, Marcel. I'll take Vidal. I'll take her right knockout because, I think that can happen here, especially with a bad weight cut. What do you think?
First of all, we all know that we can tune in 10 minutes after the start because Vidal is going to have her walkout again, which will last 8 minutes.
Is she the one that was crying? I can't remember if she was crying or no.
No, she was dancing the whole damn time before she gets in. Yeah. Listen, dude, your breakdown, it fucking sucks because I had the same. completely the same way of thinking. Another weight cut for Cowan after she had something bad. I don't know exactly what it was anymore, but something internal or something.
Yep.
And coming back this quick, I don't think it's. I listen, man. I'm obviously not a doctor.
Yeah.
Kevin Aioli, shout out. But I wouldn't think it's a good idea, probably.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way. I think Tamires Vidal can finish her. Trattora. I also feel like she can finish her TKO, maybe with some ground and pound.
Yeah.
I'm with you there, man.
Maybe you're talking me into a bet. No, I wasn't planning on it, but now that you have the same thoughts. By the way, I shouldn't have said it was 2 weeks. It's been a month. About a month. I mean, because February's shorter, but yeah. Anyways, worth mentioning. Let's get some other comments here. Perez sent Cowan to the Shadow Realms. Maybe. I'm not sure. I think I picked Cowan in that one, actually. I think Vidal takes this. Not sure what the odds are. Dude, they flipped today. I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? It's a little concerning, too. It's like, why did it flip like this? Cowan coming back from a scary polo too soon. Yes. I think so. Going to enjoy the card. Normally fighters very well. I think it's a pretty decent card,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Barbara from LFA. And Cowan's from LFA, too. Like, she has fought good competition, but I also feel like, Vidal's fought decent competition, like I would say, right? Like, most of the girls she fought were like unbeaten in the last couple of fights, or she actually fought Carol Hosa, Perez, like Jan Durova, who's in PFL. Like, it's a decent set of opposition. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. Oh, here's what Cowan had: a varian cyst rupture. I mean, that's not good, but I'm still concerned about two weight cuts so close to each other. For a fighter that only has 9 fights, it's not like she has 30 fights. She knows the ins and outs of that. But I don't know, Marcel. Maybe they could have did it at 140 or something like that instead, because of short notice. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Victor Altamirano taking on Vinicus Salvador, and this is, to me, a sleeper pick for fight of the night. I think. I definitely think it's going to be a good fight. Two guys that can stand and trade. The odds are pick 'em, Marcel. It's -110 each. So I want to hear your thoughts on it.
So Victor Altamirano screwed me a few times already.
I'm 2-0 on him so far, by the way.
Yeah, I'm 0-2 on him. Yeah. So he's now fighting Vinicus Salvador. Listen, man, Salvador was one of the better guys in the contender series. I saw you finish Shannon Ross, great fight. He's actually, I think he's from Amanda Ribas' team, right? With Marcelo Ribas. So how can I pick against him? If you look at I'm just kidding, obviously. Victor Altamirano, I mean, he got that win over Daniel da Silva, but he got tagged early in that round. Remember, he was almost out, and he got the win. The Carlos Hernandez fight, super close, split decision. Got also split decision on contender series before. I think he's pretty decent, but he hasn't convinced me. And Vinicus Salvador, which I saw so far, is a very fun prospect. Really looking forward to see him fight. And I think he gets the finish, man. I'm taking him for a TKO in the 3rd round.
Sorry, who are you picking?
Vinicus Salvador.
Yeah, I just did pick. I'm 2-0 on this Altamirano guy, so he's been good for me so far. But I think it's a good fight. But I was just more impressed by what Salvador did in that fight with Shannon Ross. Now, granted, Marcel, that guy is kind of a punching bag, it looks like, to be fair, but he's still impressive. And you know what? He's fought some good fighters too, man. I mean, he fought Philo did finish him, but I'm just saying he fought him. Like, he's fought some good competition, tons of knockouts, really good hands. We saw that. I think Altamirano's not bad either, though, man. It's a good fight. I just like the fight a lot. Like, I think Altamirano's definitely got, some power. We saw that against the Silva. That was a nasty ground and pound. He's pretty good, but I think Salvador, like you said, Marcel, I think he has the edge with the cardio a little bit too, and I think that could help him in the later rounds. So
he actually lost to a guy I saw fight live 3 years ago, Luis Filio.
Oh, okay.
He lost to a split decision. I saw that guy live fighting in Belgium. He got starched.
That's random.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I think it should be a decent fight. But like with Altamirano, like he's okay, Marcel. But I don't know. Beating Daniel da Silva, to me, I mean, well, Shannon Ross is kind of the same. These guys take a lot of punishment, right? Like, I want to see them fight someone good. Now they're fighting each other, so it's a good fight. Yeah. Salvador. All right, Antoine, what's up, boys? Always down with a good fight. Fighting his hand. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that. I mean, it's in San Antonio. It's at AT&T Center where the Spurs play with fans, which is great. Vinicius the man, can't wait. Me too. All right, Marcel, let's go to the next fight here. We have a lightweight bout between Trey Ogden and Manuel Torres, and this is a pretty good fight too, I think. Odds for this one, Marcel, -150 for Torres, +125 for Trey Ogden. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's start with Trey Ogden, right? He got in the UFC after a win on Fury FC against Okanovic. Wasn't
Yep.
looking for a fight
Canadian
episode.
guy, actually. JJ Okonovich, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, then he fought his debut against Jordan Levitt. Split decision was a super close fight. I think could have gone either way, which I can remember. Went to Levitt, and Levitt did that weird booty shake after it or whatever. The Zellhuber fight, I was surprised. You know, he looked very good in that fight. I think Zellhuber looked really off that night, but not want to take anything away from how he looked. Looked really good. So Ogden did well in that last fight. Manuel Torres is a really big question mark to me, to be really honest, man. I think he was a fun guy fighting on the Contender Series, got a quick knockout as well. And then he knocked out Frank Camacho, but Camacho is like, yeah, really like hit or miss pretty much. I most likely miss most of the times.
Yeah.
So
he's not in the UFC anymore, right? He got cut?
No, I think he got cut. I'm not sure, by the way. If you look at Manuel Torres, yeah, I mean, if it keeps standing, I favor him. But what does Ogden do? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really pretty much torn on this fight because I'm not sure, but I got to favor Manuel Torres, man. I think if he lands, he can knock him out. But if he doesn't, it can be a tough night for him. But I'm leading Manuel Torres, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, for I was going to say, Konovich guy I mentioned. Sorry, he's not Canadian. He fought a Canadian guy, Anthony Romero. That's what I was remembering. Anthony's one of the better prospects. I think he should actually probably be in the UFC. Anyways, Marcel, like I don't know about Ogden still. Like I know he won that fight against Zellhuber. That was a weird ass fight, man. That was almost like a fight where like you thought James Krause paid off Zellhuber to stand there and do nothing. Like he didn't do shit in that fight. Like I understand, like it was his debut. Maybe he got some jitters or something, but it was weird. Because considering his Contender Series fight, Levitt fight was pretty close. Marcel, he could be 2-0 in the UFC. He's got a lot of experience. He's decent. I also think Manuel Torres is pretty good. Like I think the power's there. We talked about him in his debut. We talked about Contender. Like you see some serious power from this guy, and like I think he's fought like not bad competition. I don't think it's like the best fighters, but it's not bad. Some of these guys actually have like 20 fights. Some of the guys he fought in Mexico. So I got to go with the upside here, man. I have to. Like Trey Ogden, like I think there's a chance he could pull off the upside here because he is a veteran and he's got all that experience. But I like Torres, Marcel, and for me, it's like this guy. I think he could potentially go pretty far in the division because he's got that serious power. So I think he's one of the better guys from Contender, and I expect to win by knockout. So. All right. Speaking of Krause's fight, you see the Belina video. Oh God, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. All right, Marcel. We'll go to the next fight here. We have CJ Vergara taking on Daniel Silva. Another lightweight fight. What the heck's with all the lightweight fights on this card? Odds for this one have Vergara big favorite -275 to Silva +210. Marcel, don't tell me you're picking Daniel Silva again. I'm not going to let you. Okay, I'm not letting you do it.
First of all, one reaction to the Molina thing. It's totally his choice if he wants either eat roast beef or he wants to eat sausage. It's not any of our choice, He has to make that choice, and we have to be cool with it, whatever, I don't think we should get too much attention to it. But about this fight, CJ Vergara, Daniel Da Silva, you don't let me pick Daniel Da Silva, you say.
I'm not letting you do it, dude, because you keep picking him and he keeps losing, bro. Watch you pick the other guy. He's going to win now.
I picked Molina against him, dude. That's the only time I went against him. I went with him.
Speaking of the devil.
Yeah, I went with him with Figueiredo and Altamirano. I was almost right with Altamirano, dude. Don't get me wrong, because he did well in the beginning.
He did.
Vergara. I mean, Vergara is also not really convincing so far, man, in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck it. I'm just going with Daniel Da Silva again. I don't give a shit. Definitely because you just said,
I know.
Like you should, and it's super close fight to me, man. Can go either way. So I'm going to go crazy. I say Daniel Da Silva by knockout in the first round. Let's go. Let's go all in. Let's go all in.
You might as well, right? At this point, you might as well.
Yeah.
You might go 0-4 on him, Marcel.
That's what it is, man.
Or whatever. I can't pick this guy. There's no way. I mean, this guy gets finished every fight. I don't think he's good. He's not losing to like elite guys either. He's losing to like middle of the pack guys. Vergara could have easily won that fight in his debut against Clayton. He did win that fight. He could have easily lost, I should say. But when you think about it, he was such a big favorite, or big underdog, that it was a pretty decent performance when you think about it. Like I thought Clayton won because he had that nasty like calf slicer. but it's still not bad. And then obviously he fought O'Day, went the cards with him, close fight. O'Day's not bad either.
O'Day.
There you go. And then Tyra, I mean, who expected him to win that fight? So I think he's fought like 3 good fighters, guys. Like, so you're right, Marcel. Like, he's 1-2. It's not much better than 0-3, but it is 1-2, I guess. But I think he should be 0-3. So it's actually a good fight here. But to me, like, what this guy had, you know, all those good fights in Fury FC, fought really good competition there too in Contender Series. And Marcel, I thought he was good before. So I still think there's something here with Vergara, guys. I still think he's got some potential. Whereas De Silva, I don't see it. I really don't, actually, Marcel. So I'm going with Vergara by knockout. Go ahead.
He's 0-4. He botched the weight cut last time. So.
There you go. I'm going Vergara, though, my knockout. So we have a different pick on this one. You take knockout, right? I don't think this fight goes the distance.
No, I think knockout as well. I'll take my chances here.
Fight doesn't go under 2.5 rounds is like -180 right now. Like, that's a good bet, I think. I don't think this fight goes 3 rounds, guys. I really don't. Especially not De Silva. He just doesn't. He's not the kind of guy that even has the cardio. Desperate De Silva +250. That's interesting, Marcel. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
I don't know about that. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have. All right, the next one, Marcel. We have Trevin Giles against Preston Parsons in the UFC welterweight division, and the odds for this one, Marcel, are they're kind of interesting. Right now, it's basically a pick'em with Giles at -120 and Parsons at +100. Obviously, Giles has way more experience, but hasn't looked amazingly, and then Parsons has performed probably a little better than people thought. So, what do you think about this one, man?
So Trevin Giles' nickname is the problem. The only problem is how we should pronounce his last name, Giles or Giles. I still
think
don't
it's
know.
Giles, but I don't know.
Yeah. So that's a real problem, actually. So Trevin against Preston Parsons here. Preston Parsons looked good against Evaneldo last time in this fight. You know, he got the win. Before that, lost to Daniel Rodriguez on short notice, came into the UFC. I still don't know what I really have to think about him. You know, I know he debuted on welterweight. He's still at welterweight. Giles actually, he fought at light heavyweight. You know, he actually made his debut in light heavyweight in the UFC. I think against Bogdanovic, or that was that Ben Rotwell guy, I think.
What was that guy's name again? James Bogdanovic. That guy got destroyed in both his fights.
Yeah, was he from Ben Rotwell's camp? I think, right?
I think so.
It was a serious question. Yeah,
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. I'm just saying he wasn't good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I didn't mean anything about Ben Rotwell. I like Ben actually.
Yeah.
So Trevin Giles, he won his last fight against Luis Cosi. The thing is, I feel like Giles wins against everybody he should win against, and he loses to the people who I expect him to lose to, like Enriquez Duplessis and Michael Morales. The Dolitza fight is actually a good win on his record, you know. And those early losses in the third round against Murashad Sekkamets were fights he was winning actually until that moment. I think Giles is a lot better than many people give him credit for, but he's just inconsistent. I think he wins this fight. I'm picking Giles here. I think he wins the decision.
This one's kind of tricky, I think, Marcel, personally. Because like you said, you hit the nail on the head. Giles is just really consistent. Like, he can look pretty good at times and look terrible at other times. I gotta be honest with you, man. I think he's looked pretty bad during his career, though, like, for overall. I do, because the last fight, okay, let's just go through it. The Costi fight was terrible. I mean, it was just a horrible fight. He won, but it was so bad the other guy got sent packing from the UFC. Morales, he gets knocked out in 4 minutes. I mean, I think he did okay in, the first couple minutes, and then got knocked out. Against Duplessis, he didn't do bad early on, and then he got knocked out again. The Dolitza fight was pretty close. It wasn't a great fight. He did win the fight. It was a good upset at the time. The Bevon Lewis fight, if I'm not mistaken, Marcel, he was losing a lot of the fight and then knocked him out, if I'm not mistaken. The Kraus fight, I mean, a lot of people thought he lost that fight. He lost to Mearshart. He lost to Cummings. Pete Braganetto has fought 1 time in the last 10 years, and then the Bottomers guy. I don't know, man. I'm not sold on him, Marcel. I'm not sold on him, dude. Parsons, at least has, I think, a relentless gas tank and grappling ability. And just actually trying to do something might win him this fight. And the guy beat Evan Elder, just had a really good fight in his last fight. And it was up a weight class, so he could get the takedown easier. That's fair. But to me, that was still a pretty solid performance. He's fought some decent opposition down in, I think it was in Florida, before coming to the UFC and for Titan FC and stuff. He actually has a win over Ignacio Bahamondes by knockout, by the way, Marcel. He's actually fought good competition. I kind of slept on this guy a little bit, but I think he's not bad. I think he wins this fight. So We have a different one again, Marcel. I'm going to take him by decision too. I do think the fight goes the distance though, so I think we agree on that.
Also, don't forget that Giles fight in front of his own town crowd.
True. By the way, the fight going the distance is plus 150. I mean, I think it does go to decision, and I know you said the same thing. So, anyways, he is from San Antonio. Absolutely, that's something to keep in mind. The Texas judging is not historically not very good. I'm not saying it would affect this fight, but it did give him that win against Kraus a couple years ago. Remember that? Whenever Elder, I agree. This is not a bad win at all. So the lead safe win. That's true as well. Love the Giles pick. Unlimited upside if you can show up to at least 8% of his potential. But that's the problem, right? Like, it's hard to trust him to. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, Marcel. We have Steven Peterson taking on Lucas Alexander in the UFC featherweight division. A fun fight, I think, right? I think this is another fight that is kind of getting slept on. Right now, Steven Peterson, Ocho, is minus 185, plus 150 on Lucas Alexander. What do you think?
Listen, man, Steven Alexander, I want to say Steven Peterson. He lost his last fight against Julian Erosa. I think I had him winning that fight. It was a super close fight. It was actually one of the better fights of 2022, if I can remember correctly. Going both ways. I know people at Erosa. I think Peterson did enough to get the win. He didn't get it. Before that, he won against Chase Hooper in a fight where it was overweight, by the way. And he won against Martin Bravo, but it's been a long time. That was a spinning back fist. So in my mind, he should be 3 consecutive wins, but it's not officially, obviously. Lucas Alexander, really hard to say anything about him. You know, he came in the UFC on short notice against Joanderson Brito and got pretty much climbed on his back and got choked out. Yeah. It's like, how does Alexander do against Steven Peterson, right? Because last time we didn't see too much of him. I know he got a win over Kilburn, over Ty Johnson, you know, which are decent wins, but not like next level, whatever, you know.
Yep.
I think it will be a fun fight, but yeah, I like Steven Peterson here. Plus, it's pretty much the hometown fight for him. Not hometown, but the home state fight for him, for this MMA guy. Yeah, I'm taking Peterson here. Probably a decision. Don't see a finish.
Yeah, like I think Peterson's kind of middle of the pack, but I think he wins this fight too. Like especially in Texas, right? Like he's actually looked pretty good lately. To give him credit,
Yeah.
like the last, I know he lost against Rosa, but it was such a great fight. And had he not missed weight, he would have got his bonus. The Rosa actually got $100,000. But it was a close fight. It was razor close. He could have easily got the win in that fight. The Hooper fight, he looked amazing. The Bravo fight at that knockout. So he's actually, you know, Marcel really bounced back nicely after starting his career 1-3. Now he's 2-1, right? Since then. So it's nice to see him get back in a veteran of the sport. I mean, he's been around for a long time, guys. Like he's been fighting for a long time, fought competition all over the world. You know, it's crazy. Like his second fight was in Bellator. Like it's crazy, right? Like in 2010. So he's in that first season or second season. The Alexander guy, you know, he's fought some like okay competition, like you said, Marcel. Like Kilburn guy's not bad. He beat my injury. It's not a bad win though. He has a couple losses. I do like that Jimmy trains at Fusion XL. That's a good gym, I think, in Florida. But you know, while I do think there is some upside here because he's only 27 and he's kind of an unknown here in this card, I have to go Peterson for my pick. I have to because the experience of the UFC.
Exactly.
I think he probably has the wrestling advantage. I would guess the toughness, durability. Like he's extremely hard to finish. So that's my pick, Marcel. I'm with you. I have the same pick as you.
You forgot to give somebody a shout out, dude, on the broadcast.
Who?
Who fought this weekend? Your favorite fighter?
Oh, Jay Ellis won, guys, by the way. Or he lost. Sorry.
He won.
By the way, yeah, the Cage Titans card. Spectation Sports covered it, but the Joe Giannetti fight fell off at the last second against Luigi Vendramini. A couple comments here. What's up, man? He says, Cowan line flip because she's from Texas. I mean, maybe. It makes sense, right? Like, it's just kind of weird to flip because it looked like it was holding steady for a bit and then flipped. Marcel got PFL Europe picks for us. We'll talk about that after, George. Can you ask us at the end again, George, if you don't mind, and then we'll answer you. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. Daniel Pineda taking on Tucker Lutz. Odds for this fight have Tucker Lutz minus 275. Wow, it's pretty high against plus 210 on Pineda. What do you think about that?
I disagree. I'm on Pineda on this one, dude.
There you go. I mean, those are high odds. Jeez.
Yeah. The funny thing with Pineda is his two biggest wins are taken from him, Jeremy Kennedy and Mavlid Kabulaev, by no contest because he tested positive in PFL. Tucker Lutz, I think he's pretty decent, but I'm just not really feeling it. I think he's good, but not next level or whatever. The thing is, like, Tucker Lutz is significantly about younger than Daniel Pineda. I think he's 9 years younger. He's 28. Pineda's 37. So, and how does Pineda come back after 2 years without fighting, with being how do you say that? Being suspended, again. Yeah, I still think Pineda got this dude. I think he has more experience, definitely. It's a difficult pick because of the age, I think, but I'm feeling Pineda. I'm going Pineda with a decision here.
I mean, I think it's a decent dog pick. He's definitely got a chance. He's got a lot of experience in the UFC. He's fought good competition. He's a dangerous guy. We know that. Lutz, he's looked okay in the UFC. I'm not gonna say he's looked great. I've picked him in a couple of the fights. Actually, I've won in one of his fights. I haven't lost his fights yet. Marcel, like you do mention the age gap. Like Pineda's been around for a long time. Like it helps him because he's got 45 fights, but at the same time he has taken a lot of damage. He's been out for 2 years now too. He's at a reach disadvantage in this fight. He's so much older. It's like all the reasons are there not to pick him, but I also do think he's got a chance. I think he's definitely a wild card. I'm gonna go with Lutz by decision, Marcel, because I think he'll just grind him out. But man, like definitely an underdog that could win. I think it's a nice bold pick from you. He's got a chance. All right, a couple comments here. Giles is a scary amount of UFC fighters records. Yeah, I think like Gerald Mearshort's beat him like 2 or 3 times. I want to say.
I think Giles beat him and lost to him. Both.
Yeah, he lost to him too. Holy crap, he did actually. Bam Bam versus Jay Ellis. Bam Bam. Wait, who's Bam Bam? What am I saying?
Barbarina.
Yeah. I mean, why you want to see Jay Ellis die? Or you want to fight? I think he's got more. Like, let me count it. It's because he has a couple no contests because of the drug thing. He has 44 fights. This is his 45th fight. He has 3 no contests. 2 in PFL for testing positive, 1 against Andre Fili. I think that was his last fight, and that was really weird.
Accidental eye poke, yeah.
Yeah.
And those 2 in PFL are his biggest wins, actually.
They were big wins, but again, he was juicing. In terms of values, dog pass. I agree with that, actually. I agree with that one. I agree with you guys. All right. Main card time, Marcel. We got 6 fights in the main card. I think the main card's pretty good. I think we're gonna see some nasty finishes, including in this fight.
We got 6 in the mix.
Yeah. Chidi and Njokuani against Albert Duraev. I think someone gets finished. And odds for this one, Chidi is -200, Albert Duraev +160. I'll start this one, Marcel. Sure. I like Chidi here, man. I think he knocks him out. I really do. I just think he matches up really well against Albert Duraev. And I wanted to talk about the last fight with Gregory Rodriguez. He did lose in the second round, but I mean, I think almost every other ref and doctor stops that fight for that cut. Like he could have won by cut, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. And in fact, he'd probably be an even bigger favorite here. So you're almost getting a discount because he doesn't have a win in that fight. Now I understand you got tired, you lost. It wasn't a good look, but I still think he's going to have better cardio than Duraev, Marcel. I don't trust this guy's cardio at all. I don't think he's looked good in the UFC at all, Marcel. Like, he looked good at contender. He looked great. Like, I was like, damn, this guy's good. Like, at the time, he was 2 years younger too, right? He's 34 now. He's not exactly young. So
he came too late in the UFC, in my opinion.
Yeah. Correct. All right, cool. Yeah, I think so too. Because he had some good wins, like Clifford Starks. I think he beat him and a couple other guys. So he had some nice wins, but I think he came to the UFC too late. He's too much of a late bloomer, and he hasn't looked good in the fight, like in the UFC guys. Like I picked Buckley against him as a dog. He got smoked in that fight. And then Kopylov, he won, Marcel, but remember he was like hanging on for dear life in that third round. I just think Chidi's got the edge everywhere, except for the wrestling, obviously. But I don't think this guy's going to take him down. I think it's going to have a hard time getting Chidi down. Chidi is not the easiest guy to get down, even to keep down. So I know Dusko took him down a few times, but he got right back up each time, right? And then you knocked him out. So, yeah, I got to go with Chidi, man. I just think the power's going to carry him this one, Marcel. What do you think, man?
Is it Clifford Starks, the dude that this wiener popped out during the weigh-in?
I think it was for the weigh-ins, yeah.
I remember that he pulled his.
Of course, you remember that.
He pulled his pants down, but his wiener was hanging out of his underwear.
It was, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Look at this kind of stuff Marcel remembers. You used to go. No, I'm not gonna say anything.
That's a super weird thing. Just like that, Will Campuzano when he had a boner when he was facing Sergio.
Oh
Pettis.
yeah.
That's kind of things, I'm sorry, guys, but I had to think about it. Yeah, I think Chidi wins as well, man. The simple thing is that I think Albert came too late in the UFC, man. Albert was a really good prospect when he fought at ACA or ACB. I think he was a double champion at a certain moment. And super feared guy. He's a pretty wealthy guy as well, actually, I think, in where he comes from, Dagestan. I just like the Buckley fight really, and I don't want to say exposed him, but also the fight against Kopilov wasn't good. He gassed in that fight, and he gassed against Buckley as well. And the thing is, like, Chidi is also doesn't have the greatest gas tank at all, but I think he hits hard and he can put him away. So for me, it's like I'm with Chidi here. I think Chidi wins. I think he finishes him probably as well, the first or second round TKO. But I got to side Chidi. I listen, man. I'm a big fan of Alba Durai. I've always been in ACA and ACB, but I just can't pick him here, man.
Yeah, we have the same thoughts on this fight, man. Get some comments here. Gorilla likes Chidi on knockout B2. Juan says Albert Russell fucks him. I don't know. I mean, he can get him down, but I think he's going to have a hard time keeping him down. Every time Buckley hits Duraev's chin, his knees buckled. No pun intended. Yeah, that's funny actually. Yeah, I mean, he got destroyed in that fight. Chidi's the player. The line's moving towards Albert. It's interesting. Is it? Yeah. I think Chidi wins, man. Anyways, Chidi may go to. You think? Yeah, he opens a dog. Holy crap! You're right. That's crazy. I don't know about that, guys. I mean, some funny lines sometimes. The openers and stuff, and not sure about that. I mean, obviously, a bad line because it's completely flipped. But the thing about the opening lines, you got to keep in MMA. Like, I think it's Bet Online that does it, right? Like, they can shift it so quick. Like, they could take a few early bets and then just completely shift the line. So, and it's always worth mentioning, but at the same time, like, they get information quickly and then they can shift it and then they can, offer higher limits on once they really get the line defined. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Alex Perez taking on Manel Kape. And today is Monday. What are the odds Alex Perez actually makes it to the fight? I mean, I really hope it happens, Marcel, but like, I don't trust this dude anymore. Like, he has such a hard time making weight. He has a hard time getting to the fight. His opponent making weight. Like, it's just like a nightmare with this dude. Anyways, the odds for this one, Marcel, Kape is favored -200 and +160 on Perez. So, what do you think about this one, man? I mean, you think the fight happens? Like, I hope it does.
The thing is, like, Alex Perez is kind of my boy, dude. I don't want to pick against him, I know. I hate to pick this fight. So, the thing is, like, Manuel Kape has a lot more upside probably in this fight going against Alex Perez. Manuel Kape hasn't fought since December, I think. I think he fought Dvorak there, and he did very well. And Alex Perez fought against Pantoja last time, and he no, not Pantoja. Pantoja, and he got subbed early in the first round. Yeah. I'm not. I should be really honest, man. I think Kape probably gets the win here, man. But I'm going with a decision.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm going with Kape. I mean, I don't know if you can pick Alex Perez right now. It's just so hard to trust this guy. Like, he's definitely a good fighter, man. We've seen that, right? Like, during his career, like, he's had some nasty finishes. Like, the one on that Formiga was just brutal. But he's been finished the last two fights. He doesn't fight that often, like I mentioned. A lot of injury issues and weight cutting issues, and he's definitely a good fighter, man. He's got a shitload of experience. Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong, definitely. But like, Kape.
Well, what if he wrestles?
Kape is a pretty good wrestler too. I think. I actually think Kape. Dude, he has so many submission losses. I actually think Kape potentially could get a submission in this fight. Like, I think he wins, Marcel. I really do. I think he can knock him out. I think he could go to decision. I think Kape has 3 ways to win. Whereas I think Perez, I mean, it would just have to be him, like, kind of outworking Kape, because we've seen Kape get outworked in a couple of fights, but he's looked much better lately. Dude, he's looked so good lately. He looked like the guy that we thought he was from Ryzen, right? Like, he's looked amazing. I gotta go with Kape, Marcel. I think he finishes him. I have to. Kape's the winner, guys. Gorilla looks Kape. Perez, you cannot trust this guy with your money. I kind of agree. I know he's your boy, Marcel, but it's just hard to trust him, Marcel, because he just doesn't fight that often. He's always having an issue at the weigh-ins and stuff. So hopefully the fight happens, though. I think it's a good fight if it happens. I think, Perez, you never know, but I think Kape just finishes him. And Marcel, I hate to say it because I know he's your boy. He might be released if he gets finished again, because it would be 3 straight finishes, potentially, just because he's not very reliable. Again, don't want to say anything bad with the guy. He seems like a really nice guy, but doesn't, like, you look at he's got more polo to Marcel than fights, I believe, at this point in the UFC. So, all right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Andrea Lee taking on Macy Barber. Odds for this one, Macy Barber minus 250, plus 200 Andrea Lee. What do you think?
Yeah, Macy, I don't cut your hair, Barber. Yeah, what can we say about her? I know my jokes are really bad, dude. So, yeah, Macy Barber. Yeah, she won her last 2 fights. Definitely the one against Jessica Eye. She looked really good, actually, in that one, in my opinion. The fight before against, she actually won the last 3 fights, but in my opinion, she won the last 2 fights. Should have said that. She also did look good against Montana De La Rosa, and she got a gift against Marina Maverick, I think. If you look at Andrea Lee, she had a good streak going on, 2-fight win streak at a certain moment. She almost knocked out Viviane Araújo, but Araújo came back and won the fight. This is a difficult one, dude, because if Andrea Lee can touch Barber Lee can win. But Barber is pretty straightforward. She's pretty tenacious, I think. I think she wins the fight, man, with her pressure, with her ground game, with her grappling, with everything she can put. She's not going to finish Lee. Will be a decision, but I have to side Macy Barber here.
Same pick, same breakdown, exact same breakdown, man. I really can't add too much because I feel like the fight goes exactly like you just said. I just think she has the upside, right? She's like 9 years younger. Andrea Lee is kind of inconsistent.
She's still with Tony Kelly, by the way.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been following
that
guy since he left the UFC. Like, she's definitely had some nice wins. There's no doubt about it. Like, that fight with Calvillo, even the Shevchenko one, like those good wins, but kind of inconsistent to me, right? And Barber, you could say the same thing about, to be fair. Like, but the other thing is, Marcel, she's still really young. She's only 20.
That's exactly it.
24. She's super young. Like, and she's looked good lately, right? Like, I wouldn't say great, but she's looked good. She's looking like she's back on track a little bit. So, Barber by decision. That's my pick, Marcel. All right, we'll go to the next fight here, guys. All right, this should be a good one as well. A couple of comments there. Let me get them before I get to the next fight. What happened to Hailey Perez? I don't think she was on this card. She was supposed to fight Hailey Cowan a few weeks ago, and then that fight didn't happen, and now I don't know where she is. Maybe she can't cut weight twice, maybe, Marcel. Maybe that's what's happened here. Glenn, what's up, man? No heavyweight fights or heavyweight fights last 2 cards. I mean, that's the way Marcel likes it, right, Marcel? You don't want to see the heavyweights on the main card, especially.
No.
Let's see here. Andrew Lee's from Texas, hence the bedside. I mean, that's interesting, too. Like, you know what, Marcel? This fight, now that I think about it, maybe it'll be competitive and it hits the scorecards. She had a fight. What was that fight? She had a couple funny ones. The fight with Lauren Murphy, I want to say. Yeah,
Joanne Wood.
Texas. Joanne Wood was also a funny one. She's had some funny scorecards, guys. So that is something to keep in mind, I guess. But I still think I have to go with Barber. I mean, that's my pick. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll be wrong, but that's my pick. I'm not saying there's a ton of value minus 250 at the same time, but yeah. All right, next fight, Marcel. This should be a really good one, man, I think. We have Austin Lingo against Nate Landwehr. And I know that, obviously, Alex Caceres fight with Nate Landwehr probably would have been even better, but I still think the Lingo fight's going to be good. Minus 300 for Nate Landwehr, plus 230 for Lingo. So this card actually has a lot of competitive fights. This, I think, is the biggest favorite in the card. Wow, that's interesting. Only minus 300. Biggest favorite in the card, Marcel, Nate Landwehr. Does he win?
Nate, I only have one. How do you say that? One straightforward, 100%.
He doesn't know any other way to fight, man.
No, that's the way he does. And sometimes it works for him, and sometimes it really goes against him.
Like that fight with Julian Rosa, which I bet on him in that fight. He got sparked in a minute.
Yeah, or against Herbert Burns.
I didn't bet on that one, but yeah, I know.
Against Austin Lingo. Austin Lingo is I like Austin Lingo as well. I think he's an entertaining fighter as well. 2 decisions though in his last ones.
Got knockdowns in those fights too, right? So
true. He's a fun fighter, man. And he fights also pretty much at home. He's also for Fortis MMA. Yeah, but got to be really honest here, man. I think Nate Landwehr, I was really impressed by his comeback against David Onama, dude, because
Me
Onama
too.
did really well in the first round, and then Landwehr came back. He was so aggressive. Amazing fight. I'm picking Landwehr here by decision. I think it goes to decision, and we can expect a crazy fight again, I think. So, yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it goes the distance probably. I don't think it's been finished yet. Lambert's been finished. I have to pick Lambert too because the experience, right? And also like he's looked like not just the last fight, Marcel, with the comeback. I thought he looked amazing against Ludwig Klein in that fight.
Oh yeah, that was really surprising.
Right? Then. Like that was. I remember we talked about that fight. It was almost 2 years ago. I'm looking at it.
We were sure that.
Oh yeah, we were sure that Klein would win. And not only that, but I remember you said this. You said there's no reason to pick Nate Lambert here in this fight. Yeah. There's just no reason to pick. That's exactly what you said, and I completely agreed. And he got smoked, right? Yeah. So he's definitely like shown more, but at the same time, Marcel, he's the biggest favorite in this card, and Lingo's got a little bit of upside here too. I think.
I agree. With
the striking, he's a little bit younger. He's a little bit more unknown. Doesn't fight that often. Fans don't, maybe not as familiar. Not a bad fighter. Hasn't fought in 2 years. Could have made some serious improvements though too, right? Because he's only 28, so he could have made a lot of improvements from 26 to 28 where he sat out. I think he had some fights get canceled, right? 47 May. Marcel, I'm almost talking myself into picking this guy because I actually think he has a chance to win this fight. I'll take Nate Lambert by decision, but I think it'll be a competitive fight. That's my pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree fully with you.
Yeah. Do you think Macy will challenge for the title one day? Yeah, I think so. Lingo with the upset. Potential. I think it's possible, man. Scorecards for the Maverick fight against Barber. Yeah, she shouldn't have won that fight. There's no doubt. Lions ought to be there. Nate Lambert 8-0 minus 300. I agree. I mean, Marcel, I almost really want to talk myself into picking Lingo here as a dog. I really want to, but at the same time, like he hasn't fought in 2 years. Like I don't know if he's going to show improvement. Like I don't know. It's the upside play though. It is the upside play as a dog. All right, go to the next fight here, guys. Co-main event: Marcel's fight of the year candidate. Just kidding. Holly Holm taking on Yana Santos. This is a former Yana Kuyatsukawa. Odds for this one: Holm minus 250, Yana plus 200. I'll start this one, Marcel. I think Holly Holm wins the decision. That's 100% how I think this fight goes. I know Holly lost against Vera and Yana beat Vera, but actually, it's funny. I would almost argue that Holm beat Vera and that Vieira beat Yana Santos because those fights were the scoring is interesting in those fights. Very interesting fight scoring. The other common opponent they have is obviously Aldana, who knocked out Santos, but Holly Holm like decisioned her and made it look easy. And that's the thing. Like even if she didn't, the last fight wasn't her best performance. It definitely showed she's slowing down. She's 41 now. She's getting up there, guys. Still looks good though, but she beat Aldana and she beat Pennington like in 2020. And you know what? Thinking about it, she was 38 compared to 41. I mean, that is a big age difference when you think about it. But she's just such a great athlete, man. She still keeps herself in such good shape. Like you saw the pictures this week. Like she looks good. So I think she's shown that she can go 5 rounds multiple times. She can obviously outstrike her opponents. Her ground game's not amazing. We know that's her issue. But I just don't know if Yana's the fighter to like take her down and hold her there. I mean, possibly. She does train at American Top Team, right? She's at a great camp. She has quite a bit of experience. 2 years off, again, could have shown some improvement. But at the same time, Marcel, she's also like, 33. She's not super young either. If this was like a younger prospect, I would consider it, but I think I've seen enough of these two fighters to know that Holly Holm is the better fighter still, even at 41. I think she wins the decision here. Santos is tough as hell, so that's my pick. What do you think, man?
I'm taking a massive, nasty fat man shit during that fight. That's what I think.
Hut.
Yeah, that's what I think. Dude, Holly Holm is going to win the fight. She's going to play it safe again. She's way better than Yana Santos.
She's better than Yana Kuyatsukawa as well.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean that if you change your name from Russian to Brazilian that you know jiu-jitsu now, so it's Holly's going to win. Holly's going to win decision. I would be surprised if not, to be really honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
And I'm probably I'll see it after I come back from taking that shit. I'll see that Holly got an interview. So yeah.
A couple of comments here. Yeah, coming back after having a kid during you lost their first fight back. I mean, that's something to think about for sure. Holly by yelling and kicks. That's how I think we both see the fight going. Holly by decision minus 145. That's how I think it goes, man. I think
why the hell is Well, how does that? Oh, that's not. I thought it was plus money. I would say.
No.
Of course not.
I think it's like the obvious pick, but at the same time, that was the obvious pick against Vera, and she lost. So you never know. And
in my
with the
opinion,
judges,
she won the fight.
I thought she won too, but it was close. If Nate wins, give me Egan and Train. That would be a good fight. A lot of cage hugging. I think I'll stay in the center, but you're right. There'll probably be a lot of cage hugging. I think about it. Who's more Brazilian, Yana or Dern?
Santos.
Well, there you go. All right. Last fight. It's a good one. Main event of the evening. Cory Sandhagen taking on Marlon Vera. Amazing fight. I mean, this is definitely the fight of the night for sure. I can say that right now. Pedri performance of the night. We'll see. Odds for this one, Marcel. Cory Sandhagen minus 175, plus 145 Marlon Vera. Who's your pick?
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
It is.
We know Marlon is the guy who puts the damage normally, and Cory is more of a technical striker, in my opinion. Yeah. It's going to be either Vera with a stoppage or Cory with a decision win, I think. It's difficult, and my colleague was asking me why actually is Cory is the favorite. I think it has to do with the style of fighting against each other, because Vera got actually outstriked in the Rob Font fight, but landed the more damaging blows and knocked him down. Got the win. He fought Frankie Edgar. That fight was 1-1 going into the third round, and he knocked him out. He fought Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz did very well until he got knocked out. So, and Cory Sandhagen, he did really well against Sang Yadong. I think only the first round he had some difficulties, but after that he did really well. Got some losses against Piotr Jan, which was a competitive fight, and a complete blowout against Aljamain Sterling, I remember. But, man, I feel like if Vera cannot finish him, he's going to lose the fight. That's what I think. So I'm taking Sandhagen by decision here.
All right. Well, there you go. I actually have the same pick, so that's interesting because I think you're going to see a lot of people picking Vera here too. And I get it, right? Because he's looked good. He's a dog too, right? It's tempting, isn't it? Because he's won a few fights as a dog now. The Rob Font fight, for instance.
You're surprised I picked Vera?
You picked Vera?
No, you're surprised I didn't pick Vera.
Oh, you didn't pick him? Yeah, no, I'm no, because I'm picking Sandhagen too. So he is the favorite technically, but yeah, the thing is, it's all matchups, right? Like, Cruz he's still a legend, but like he was getting up there in age, and Cruz was winning that fight, man, until he got head kicked. I mean, he was. So the thing about Vera is, here's the one thing that sticks out for you guys: is a sore thumb, okay? Because you guys know I do like stats. I'm not saying they always are something to look at, but Vera has so many fights at this point in the UFC. He's like 20 fights. Like, I do think there's something to take from the stats. And one thing that stands out like a sore thumb, Marcel, he lands 4.828 significant strikes per minute, but he gets hit back at 5.01 significant strikes per minute. He has a negative striking differential. Yet he is still winning his fights. But in the last, Marcel, in the last 3 fights, he was outstruck by his opponents in one. The reason, Marcel, is because of the power, right? Like, that's the reason. You can land like Rob Font, 3 punches to 1, but if you're going to get dropped with that one punch, you're going to lose. So that's the question here. Like, can Sandhagen take the power? I think he can. I don't think really showing a bad chin in the UFC. He got dropped by Jan, but that's it. Like, he hasn't shown a bad ground game. And you think about Cory, like, he's such a great fighter, and like the TJ fight could have won. The Jan fight was competitive. He lost, but it was still really competitive. It wasn't like it was a blowout. And then obviously Sterling washed him in a minute, but in the fights that stay in the feet, Marcel, for the most part, he does really well. And he also has knockout power. We're not even talking about his power. Man, it's a great fight. I mean, listen, like, it's going to be an awesome fight, but I think Cory Sandhagen, use his length and reach and win the fight on points. He actually has the same reach, which is interesting, but he's 3 inches taller. He just fights longer, in my opinion. I think he fights longer. But it's such a great fight. They're both the same age. They're both 30, turning 31 this year. They're both on, got some nice wins lately. Yeah, it's a great fight, Marcel, but I go Sandhagen by decision. That's my pick, guys. So there you go. All right, let me get some comments here. We'll take these comments, and if there's any last questions, we'll take them, Marcel, but we'll get out of here soon because it's past 7 now. Sandhagen decision or Cheeto by knockout? I think that's a good way to hedge it. Lights out Lingo, Nate Train. Yeah. Vera by the favorite fight, maybe plus 160. Yeah, he's good. He's definitely good. I mean, but you're right. The line would be interesting to see how it moves. Want Cheeto win, so O'Malley can avenge his loss. It's funny. Cheeto fight line will go the other way at fight time. Pause. I mean, hasn't it been out there for like a couple weeks now at this point? Like, I don't know. Like, wouldn't it have switched? I don't know. Like, possibly, I guess it could, but I don't know. I think Sandhagen's going to close as a favorite. That's my guess. But like, it is a little high right now. Maybe it'll close at like minus 150 or something instead. Because I think there'll be somebody coming in on Cheeto, Marcel. I do think you're going to get people coming in on Cheeto here. You look great. I mean, there's no doubt. For money, this may have been to pay $5 or $10 on top of my ESPN Plus subscription. I'm just glad they're doing it with fans, dude. Remember they were supposed to do this at the Apex? Holy crap. Do you guys think Cheeto will be a big underdog against Aljamain? Oh, yeah. I mean, Aljamain will be favored against almost anyone, right?
Yeah.
Who do you like to see Cheeto and Cory fight next if they win? It depends, but like Jan is there too. Like if Marlon wins, that would be interesting because I guess you could give Marlon a title shot too, right? You could potentially. Although who's next right now? It's Cejudo and Sterling, and then who's after that? O'Malley would be next, right? So I don't know what O'Malley's up to. I'm guessing he's fighting for the belt next. That's why they're holding him out because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Anyways, is there anything else you want to talk about on this card? I mean, it's a good card. I'm looking forward to it. Anything else you want to say? If you guys have any last second thoughts on this card?
I think we said everything about this card.
Yeah, I agree. So let's just answer George's question. Let's get out of here. PFL Europe picks. Do you have any?
Yeah, put up the card, man. I know there's a Dutch guy and a Dutch woman on it, and a Belgian, Dakota Ditcheva, who has some upside.
Oh yeah, Ditcheva, yeah. All right, let me pull it up here.
PFL Europe 1 in Newcastle.
Yeah, got it. All right. Did you watch any of the PFL Challenger series? I didn't watch any of it.
I think I watched one. I watched the one with the Dutch girl in it, Sandhagen de Verdang, but she got stopped.
All right, so Simeon Powell and Muhammad Amin. I know Powell's pretty good. Is Amin any good?
Amin is I know him. He's from the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah, he's decent, man. What I saw so far from him, he got one loss in UA Warriors, but all the others he won. He's also fighting in Glory kickboxing a month later, so he's betting on 2 horses pretty much.
This guy's pretty good though, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Who wins? Powell?
I hope, but I think Powell probably.
Yeah, because you're biased.
Yeah.
Ditcheva against Maylene Hermanson. Well, let's just talk about Ditcheva quickly. I mean, she's good. There's no doubt. Great fighter, great prospect.
I mean, but if Maylene has worked with her brother, it's like.
Is she actually Jack's sister? Are you serious?
No, of course not. I'm just
okay.
kidding.
I was like, holy crap. Maylene, I've never heard of her before. I gotta be honest, guys. She's lost 3 straight fights, and she's fought. Oh, she got submitted by Victoria Leonardo and Bellator. Yeah, she's gonna lose.
she won that against that girl who got kicked off a Romanian show by destroying a guy's nose. What's her name again? Pal? Can you find a girl named Pal there?
How?
Pal. P-A-L. Should be there.
Here. Anna Maria Paul, this one.
Yeah, I think Romanian. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's funny.
She destroyed a guy's nose on the show. She had butted him.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were serious about her being Jack's sister. You could have fooled me and said, "Yeah, it's just I would believe you."
I'm not like that, man. I'm not gonna keep a lie in the world.
I honestly don't know a lot of these fighters, guys. I know this girl was in Bellator, I want to say. Belgium, Marcel, another one near you. She fought Andy Boom and got destroyed by her. That's like I think it destroyed. She lost the decision.
I mean, I see Griet Eekhout fighting before. She's also a ref in Belgium.
Yeah.
I actually interviewed her three or 4 years ago. So
I really don't know some of these fighters, man. I gotta be honest. Like, there's so many unknowns here, but maybe a couple prospects will emerge. I'm looking forward to the regular season. I'll watch that. All right, I think that's it, Marcel.
Can you share the clip I'm sending you right now to the people that they can see what I was talking about with Anna Maria Paul? Let me show you.
Send it to the Oddsbreaker one.
Oh, just to the Adam Martin. I will go to
because I don't have it open on this computer.
Okay, I'll go now to the Oddsbreaker. Give me a second. There you go. Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
Did you got it?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, watch it.
All right. Romanians. Oh, Survivor Romania?
Yeah. You should check it out.
All right, I'm putting it on right now. Just for you. This is just for you. This is the last thing, guys. Last thing. Because I got to get out of here. I'm hungry. 2 hours, Marcel. We did 2 hours. All right. You guys see?
That's her. No, not the blood. This one.
This one. Yeah. Yo, what the? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually watched Survivor. You ever watched it? I watch it.
No, I didn't actually, but might start to.
B Win was in Survivor a few years ago. She's in won the championship. I think she retired recently, but she was in the
I
show.
saw recently. I saw like I said, American Ninja Warrior. I saw Michelle Watterson on it.
Oh, she was on it. Nice.
Yeah. She fought in the first.
Yeah. It's I couldn't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
A couple last questions, guys. We got to get out of here though. Do you guys think Sanders can capture the heavyweight championship? Yeah, I do. I think he can win. That fight with Rob Wilkins is really good. He's up minus 900, 100%. Is Harrison not in the regular season? I don't know. Maybe she's taking time off. I'm not sure. Who the hell was that? What's her name again?
Anna Maria Pal. Yeah. Romanian girl.
Hardy now in charge of the PFL Europe development. Yeah. Good fights we can take care of. Yeah, I think that's a good note to end it. All right, Marcel, let's get out of here, man. I'm all talked out, my friends. So, yeah, Twitter at Martin, him, Big Marcel 24, Instagram. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about the podcast, guys. We appreciate that. Bookies.com, my best bets coming out tomorrow. Went 1 and 2, man, because it got a couple, upsets, obviously, but bounce back with this card, promise. I always do. All right, guys. Marcel, anything else you want to say? You're good.
I want to say thank you for watching, guys. Always a pleasure, and hope you tune in next week again when we recap UFC San Antonio. But we don't have a preview because there is no event after this one for a week, but we'll probably do some fight announcements and some questions. Some Q&A.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll do something else for that.
So probably the first will be, will be the recap, obviously. Yeah, but the week after, probably the first will be the preview show, and the second one will be another Q&A.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Take care, everyone. We'll be back on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Peace.